Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I have decided to try something new, so instead of me reacting to my playthrough, I will have the playthrough just running in the background while I will speak about a movie or a TV show that are based on a true story or based on a book, and talk about how they are different from the book or the true event that they are based on, or if there is a TV show that are rumored to be based on a true story, then debunk that rumor or affirm the rumor. So the playthrough that I have chosen is 100 Baby Challenge. And I will just quickly run by the rules and how the playthrough are going to be played. And if you have some questions about my playthrough, feel free to comment below and I will try and answer your questions. Also comment if you have a movie or TV show that I can look into and look which story they're based on or which books they're based on. I've seen a lot of movies, I've seen a lot of TV shows, but there's many, so I haven't seen everything, and I don't think anyone has. So the rules that I have chosen to play after is the original rules. So I have been looking into what to do when you have to age up the babies, because the gameplay of 100 Baby Challenge was made before the baby stage became a thing in the Sims 4. So I've chosen the one that I could see that people use the most. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but that's what I have chosen. So the rules behind the baby challenge is that you complete the challenge by getting 100 babies, and you start with a matriarch, as I have here. The matriarch can earn money by making money from writing or painting. You can choose a job that involves you to leave the lot. So you make money from home. You're not allowed to hire a nanny or anything, any help in the home, cleaning or anything like that. You have to do everything by yourself. You can leave the lot if it's to go on a bar to meet guys, and the babies will have to have a different dad each time. So you can't have two babies with the same man. And you can choose lot traits one time. You can choose new ones if you move, but you can choose lot traits per lot one time. So choose carefully. When you have the babies, the newborn stage, they age up automatically. You just have to wait for them to age up. The baby stage is when they reach the 8th milestone. And it's not to be born in a hospital. I will count that one out. So 8 milestones. And the toddler stage, they will have to have level 3 in each skill. Children and teenagers can age up when they are a top student, and when the teenagers becomes young adult, they can move out. I have tried this challenge before, so once my matriarch is getting close to become elderly, I will keep at least the new matriarch at home, the girl that are among the children, no matter if she is getting older than the rest, because I I um, I became I got a problem last time because I have moved the next matriarch out of the house to make room for more babies, which was incredibly stupid. So those are the level up terms, and I will try to make a room for each baby just to make it a little more challenging. I am not using cheats, mods, or anything like that in this playthrough. So that is the rooms in basic. So let's go into the story. So today's story is about the TV show on Netflix called Squid Game. And I saw a picture on TikTok. I've just watched season 2. And I saw this picture on TikTok where in the description they wrote Squid Game based on a true story, question mark. And there were some pictures looking alike the scenes in Squid Game, with the pink and green color and this creepy staircase and all of that. So I was just like, whoa, is it true? So I looked into it, and as far as I could read, it's not based on a true story, but I can see if the director got some inspiration from this facility that are rumored, residential facility that are rumored to be the home that Squid Game is based on. So I can see that it's based completely on it, but maybe the director got some inspiration. The rumor is that there was a large residential facility called Brothers Home. Brothers Home is known as a South Korean concentration camp in the 1980s. It was the largest of these types of homes from 1975 to 1987. The main reason that Brothers Home were bigger than the rest is because of the support from state government and the preparation for the Olympic Games Clean the City project. It was a project where police officers, the staff in these facilities were allowed to allegedly kidnap and abduct people from the streets. Mostly disabled people, homeless people, poor people, children and teenagers without adults nearby. It's rumored that they took children that were waiting on a train station to visit family members outside the city, and they were just snatched from the train station and moved to these facilities. And the parents didn't know where the children went, and well, it's rumored that the government just closed their eyes. They knew what was going on, but wouldn't acknowledge the problem. In these homes, it is said that, well, the survivors are telling stories about how they how there was violations against the human rights. And it was among many things. It was daily violence towards the inmates, towards those who lived there, and it was infants that were sold abroad using adoption agencies, and there were cases with extreme violence, especially through the elderly, disabled people that didn't adapt quickly enough to the strict regime that Brothers Home were. The count of people who lost their life is confirmed to be 657 people. The way that they disposed of these persons who end up being unalived was they were on an island, Busan, and I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing the name right, but on this island there were not living that many in the local society. It was pretty closed off, and the way they just buried them, just like spoiler alert, just like you see in Squid Game. In Squid Game they burn the bodies after each game, but in here they just buried them in plain sight, not writing a gravestone or anything like that, but just buried them in plain sight. A journalist actually says that he kind of stumbled into the story because he noticed that there were staff members standing around something that looked like the grave and was pouring dirt on top. So he started digging around what was this home and all of that, and many journalists after him also did that. But after Brothers Home were closed, the survivors tried to get some justice for how they were treated, justice for those who were unalived, and these survivors, when you read their stories, they still have trauma till this day. One who was a child on this facility, he still sleeps with the lights on because he can't have the darkness, because every time it gets dark, something bad is going to happen. He feels like, because it usually did in Brothers Home. The survivors have through the years been speaking about these horrible violations of human rights. And after 25 years, they finally got through the government. After 25 years, they finally got something that resembles justice, but not completely, for what they have endured. So back to the comparison between Squid Game and Brothers Home. I will just make another spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the show, don't listen further, alright? See the show and listen to this episode afterwards. So in Squid Games, as I said, they burn the people who dies in the competition, where in Brothers Home they buried them. And in Squid Game they are there voluntarily. They have accepted an invitation. The people who are competing are found in the streets where you can just see that they are having trouble in their daily day life. They are mostly deeply in debt, and they can't get out of that debt ever if they're not getting some. It's wrong calling it lucky help, but I think those who are standing in front of these games think that. Where in Brother's home, they were just abducted and kidnapped because they were different from what the government thought were normal looking people, poor people, disabled people. Terrible. The show is Squid Game is showing mankind's greed and how far they want to go to win this competition. And the only comparison that I can see between Brothers Home and Squid Game, as far as I can read, is that they were both placed on an island and there were guards placed on the facility, and that is it. The guards that were placed on the facility in Brothers Home were mostly inmates, not inmates, but residents who were put to the job to make sure that everything just went smoothly. And it didn't. They just continued to violate the human rights. Where in Squid Game, the guards are actually normal people with jobs. They can also struggle, which means that they most likely would like to take this job because it's well paid. And in season 2, you actually follow one of these guards, and you wouldn't think that, but she's actually great at that job. So yeah, and in the government knew of Brothers Home and kept bringing people there and just closed their eyes to what was going on. And in Squid Game, the government doesn't know, or we don't think they do, but maybe they do. So yeah, that was pretty much. Squid Game is not based on a true story, but it could have gotten inspiration from these residential facilities, and especially Brothers Home because they have fought a very long time to get justice. So yeah, that was the story, and you can just enjoy the rest of this playthrough, and we will see you next time. Bye!